Cancer is a prevalent killer. 38.4% of men and women are diagnosed with cancer during their lifetime. That's nearly half of the population. By 2025, an estimated 2.1 million people in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer each year. It's very likely that you or someone you love will be affected by cancer in your lifetime. But what really is cancer, and why is it so hard for us to find a cure? We have a lot of cells in our body. In fact, we have this many cells. That's over 37 million billion cells in our body. Our cells naturally reproduce by duplicating themselves. One cell divides into two cells divide into four cells to 8, and so on. In healthy humans, these cells divide in a controlled manner. This is because of our DNA. The DNA is basically the instructions that are built into each cell. Our body is programmed to send duplication signals to our cells only when we need to grow or replace old cells. This is because of certain proteins in our cells which control cell growth. These are called anti-oncogenes or tumor suppression genes. Sometimes cells duplicate incorrectly and end up having damaged DNA without these proteins. This is due to unexpected mutations in the genes. Generally, these cells with the damaged DNA are recognized by the immune system and killed off by the body's natural processes. However, sometimes the body's immune system isn't strong enough and they aren't removed.
I can't. Not again. I'm not strong enough.
Cancer is what happens when a damaged cell refuses to die and continues to multiply. In cancerous cells, the instructions are written wrong. The DNA is essentially telling them, hey, we need to keep growing and dividing rapidly. These cells begin to duplicate rapidly and uncontrollably. They'll eventually turn into tumors throughout the body, which will cause damage and, if untreated, eventually death. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, we've spent billions of dollars into cancer research, why haven't we found the cure? Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple. Cancer isn't really one single disease. It's more of a group of several diseases under the same name. Remember how we said that DNA in cells can mutate? It's not always the same mutation that causes cancer. It's actually quite complex in that there are thousands of ways these cells can mutate and turn cancerous. This is why some drugs will work very well for some patients, but may not work at all for others suffering from the exact same form of cancer. Every tumor forms in different ways. This makes it nearly impossible for there to be one end-all cure for every form of cancer. With this being said, the billions of dollars that have been put towards researching cancer have not gone to waste. Between 1990 and 2014, the overall cancer death rate in the United States fell by 25%. Each year, the overall cancer death rate is dropping by 1.5% to 2% on average. Let's talk about a few of the most common treatments for cancer today. I'm sure you've heard about chemotherapy before. This treatment works by killing cells that are in the process of splitting into two new cells. The reason this works so effectively is that cancer cells divide rapidly and uncontrollably. Therefore, chemotherapy is much more likely to target these cells than the healthy ones. Invasive surgery is another common treatment for removing tumors. Surgeons will generally cut open the patient's body and use surgical tools to remove the cancerous tumors. There's also several non-invasive surgeries, such as cryosurgery, lasers, hyperthermia, and photodynamic therapy. Cryosurgery is a treatment used for early-stage skin cancer where the surgeon will literally freeze off the abnormal tissue with liquid nitrogen. Doctors can also use lasers to cut through the tissue very accurately. These lasers are then used to shrink or destroy tumors. This method of treatment is most commonly used on the surface of the body or inside the lining of internal organs. Photodynamic therapy is a really cool treatment where doctors use certain drugs that react to certain types of light. When the tumor is exposed to the light, the drugs become active and actually kill the nearby cancer cells. Hyperthermia is basically the opposite of cryosurgery. Instead of freezing the tissue, cells are exposed to extremely high temperatures. This exposure to heat makes cells more sensitive to radiation therapy, which is another common form of treatment. In radiation therapy, doctors use high doses of radiation to kill cancer cells and shrink tumors. It should also be noted that the exposure to radiation luckily has not turned anyone into the Incredible Hulk yet. Treatments for cancer are far from perfect today. It's still being heavily researched and new protocols and treatments are being released each year. So now you might be asking yourself, what can I do to avoid getting cancer? While cancer can still affect everyone, the best thing you can do is invest in your own health. over 95% of cancers are caused by environmental and lifestyle factors rather than by genetics. Here are some of the best ways to prevent getting cancer. Number 1, improve your diet. Evidence indicates that 30 to 35% of cases of cancer are linked to diet. Similarly, up to 20% of cancer is linked to obesity. A healthy diet and body weight may be your best bet at avoiding getting cancer. Another great way to maintain a healthy body weight is to get physically active. Try to get at least 2.5 hours of moderate physical activity into your weekly schedule to lower your risks. It doesn't have to be something boring like running on a treadmill. Go for a walk, play some soccer, go play basketball, anything you like, go dancing. Number 2, stop smoking tobacco. Smoking tobacco has been statistically linked to several forms of cancer, including lung, mouth, throat, larynx, pancreas, bladder, cervix, and kidney cancer. Even if you're not a smoker yourself, living in a household with others who do smoke may also increase your risk of cancer. If you need help quitting, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor about smoking. It's one of the best investments you can make in yourself. Thirdly, protect yourself from the sun, guys. Skin cancer is one of the most common types of cancer, and it's one of the most preventable as well. The easiest way to do this is just avoid midday sun and use sunscreen. And look, I know it's great to be tanned all year round, but artificial lights can hurt you just as bad as the sun. Avoid the tanning beds if you can. Other than improving on those 3 lifestyle habits, it's also important to go for regular checkups with your doctor. The earlier you catch cancer, the higher your chance of beating it is. Cancer is an extremely complex and informationally vast topic. It was impossible to fit 100% of the information I wanted to in this video, and if you'd like to learn more about cancer, how it forms, and what you can do to help the cause, I've included a few links in the video description for you to further educate yourself. I created Mind Mesh as a way to help educate the world on important and sometimes controversial topics. If you believe in my vision, please support me by clicking the red subscribe button in the bottom right corner. It's 100% free, and every subscription will help me come out with awesome content just for you. Hey, thanks for taking the time to join me today. I hope you learned something new. If you have an idea for a topic, comment below. If you're a subscriber and your topic is selected for a future video, you'll be contacted and sent a free surprise in the mail. Thanks, guys. See you in 2 weeks. Hey, why are you still here? It's really dark in here. Oh, I know why. Because you forgot what you were going to do. But don't worry, I remember. You were going to click that subscribe button.